Hey everyone, I am Krista Kathleen, a life and business coach and creator of this group, Build Your Life Coaching Biz. Today we are going to talk about sales and marketing, and I'm going to share so many tips and insights and mistakes that I've made in the past and that I use currently in my business and I don't use anymore. And I'm excited to be able to, just share those with you today because I think that it can help. I know I like to hear from other coaches how they do their sales and marketing process. And so it's just really nice to have someone or something to model after when you're new and you're just like, what am I doing? This is like terrifying. So just real quick before we get started, if you notice my lips, they are like really intense right now. My mom is a permanent makeup tattoo artist, and she touches them up every once in a while. So they're like really swollen right now and kind of like lopsided and really dark and look like I just got lip injections. I promise they'll go down in a couple of days. So in case you were wondering. But yeah, whenever you hop on, in the comment section, share your name and where you're from and what kind of coach you are. I'd love to hear from you right now. All right. Jamie, I knew you were going to be the first one on. You're my girl. Fist bump. Oop, there we go. All right. So feel free to participate in this conversation, Jamie. You know that I like when people participate. I don't like being the only one talking here. And let me know about what kind of fears you have around sales and marketing, and what do you feel like has worked well for you so far or hasn't worked well, and just be really honest. So I want to hear from you. All right, so I wrote some things down. So the first thing is we are going to, sorry, I have like some weird swallow thing going on right now. I think I have some water. Nope, I don't. Okay. So the first thing is we're going to change our relationship with sales and marketing. So like, I don't know where we hear it, but and I've heard this before too, but everyone says like, marketing, like you're going to bother people and annoy people, and the sales, like you're an icky, slimy salesman. And so we just like have all these limiting beliefs in our mind that selling is bad. Like when we try to sell something, we're doing something evil and we're doing something wrong. And when we talk about our services, we're again doing something bad, and that's not the case at all. Like I don't know where this comes from, but you have to love and be obsessed with selling and marketing, because if you don't, how are you going to run a life coaching business? Like you can't have a life coaching business without selling and marketing unless you hire someone else to do that for you. But usually in the beginning, we're doing all of our stuff ourselves, just to save money, and we're kind of usually scrappy in the beginning. So we have to do it. And honestly, it's a skill like anything else. And that's the great news, right? Because I don't think anyone's born naturally good at selling and marketing. Like you practice it over and over again until you start to get good, until you start to get confident. And you're going to make so many mistakes in the beginning. And just allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow it to be messy. So just kind of, give yourself that permission that you're going to mess up. And I have many times. I did just actually 2 weeks ago. So I'll tell you about that here pretty soon. All right, Jamie. So you're from Virginia and an empowerment coach. Cool. I like that. I don't think I've heard you put that label on yet. So that's neat. I love that you're an empowerment coach. Number 2 is believe in your services. So I heard someone say one time that if you don't like to talk about what you do, it doesn't mean that you fucking believe in it. And it's true. Like I talk about life coaching all day long. You guys see me like post about it all the time. I talk about it with people at CrossFit. I just came back from CrossFit. I talk about it with my hairdresser. I talk about it with my family members, with friends. When you like fully love and believe in your service, then it just is natural and it's easy to talk about, which is cool because you're marketing at the same time, right? Every time you talk about what you do, it's getting people interested. Like, oh, you're a life coach. Tell me more about that. Or, oh, I know someone who is looking for a life coach, or, right? So I just, so if someone's like, I don't feel comfortable talking about life coaching, then that makes me think of like, well, maybe you haven't been life coached. Maybe you haven't experienced the benefits, because like when you like something and something makes you feel good and something makes you feel better, you want to tell everyone. That's usually what happens. So I would, highly recommend obviously getting a coach and practice being life coach, so you know what it feels like in the client's position, right? And then just to like remembering, like write down, if you've already started working with some people, like review the testimonies or write down like all the benefits that people get from working with you, and just review those over and over again and see like how you're changing lives and really making an impact. And it's like, why wouldn't you want to share something like that with the world? Like there's nothing wrong with sharing and talking about something that is going to like make people's lives better. So again, it's just kind of a little like mindset shift around there. It's not really marketing anymore. It's just more of like telling people what you love to do and how you can, help them. Let's see, Jimmy, you said, yes, I'm finally labeling myself. I actually have a package. What? I'm getting my shit together. Cool. That's awesome. I would love to hear more about your package. Please promote it in my group. That would be amazing. Put yourself out there, girl. All right, number 3 is I recommend to have a warrior plan. And I have a worksheet that I designed for my coaching warrior group right now. And so basically, before you're gonna do something big and scary, maybe go on a discovery call or do a sample session, or you're gonna write a really vulnerable post or something, think about what's gonna make you feel like more confident. So I call this your warrior plan. So you can like put on a really like a power outfit or bright lipstick or heels, or you can meditate, you can listen to a podcast, you can check in with your coach real quick, you can dance, you can do yoga, you can go for a walk outside. So kind of just do like a couple things that is going to make you feel like really confident and strong. And I recommend to do that right before you get on a sales call, and then that energy will carry over. Number 4 is imagine that you're talking to an old friend when you get on that sales call. And so just so you know, I say for me, sales calls are discovery calls, but a lot of people might call them lots of different things. So whatever you want to call your sales call, but mine are discovery calls. And so when I get on a discovery call with someone, I just act like I've known them forever and we're just going to be catching up. And so I don't even like talk sales at first when I get on. I'll just be like, hey, I'm so excited you're here today. Thank you, for taking the time to talk with me. And I would just love to hear more about you. I'd love to hear more about your life story, where you're from, what your job is, or, how many kids you have, or what. I just give them that space to talk. Because most people don't really have someone in their life that is going to take the opportunity to really like listen and be present with them. So it's already such a gift to just give them that space to talk, right? And then while I'm doing that, I'm actually like taking some notes on my computer too, and I'm listening for keywords. Things like they're saying like, oh, I'm miserable in my job right now, I just don't like it, or I'm searching for my soul purpose, or I just haven't been sleeping well lately, I haven't made it to the gym, or whatever they're saying. I'm like kind of like listening to these big things, like okay, so that way like when I put a plan together for them, I know what it is that they're really interested in. Angela, hello. You said all the things I feel. That's so funny. Meditate, yoga, dance, listen to a podcast, put on power outfit. I feel like those are all the things I'm always doing naturally. Cool. So that means if you're already doing naturally, then, just keep doing them. Yeah, keep doing them before you're going to call or whatever. It's funny because sometimes those little things, we don't think they're a big deal, but they really, like you putting on the sparkling earrings on Monday, those little things make a big deal in our confidence and how we feel about ourselves. So keep doing them and giving yourself permission to do those things. All right, so we talked about imagining that you are getting on the phone with an old friend, right? You can laugh, you can share stories, like just take a little bit of time to like just relax and ease into the conversation. So then after that, so usually two things will happen. Like the conversation will start to pause, and I kind of feel this shift in like them starting to be like, okay, I know we're on this call for a reason. I want to talk more about the life coaching, or they'll just directly ask like, okay, so can you tell me more about how this works? That's what they usually say. And I've made the mistake before in the past. I actually made this mistake 2 weeks ago. Someone was interested in the Coaching Warrior program, and I just like got so excited on the phone, and I just like went a million miles a minute and was like, well, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna talk about this, and then could you get this, and like I could just tell by the end of the call she was like so overwhelmed. And then obviously she didn't end up wanting to be a part of the program. But so like I know that we're so excited about what we have to offer, but we have to remember that like, just to like go slow and just be calm. And so I always like to say like, can you tell me what specific questions you have first? Because I want to make sure that I'm really like addressing their questions first and not wasting their time and talking about things that they don't even care about at the end of the day. So I do think that's like really important to just get really clear. It's kind of like, it's kind of like how you would show up in a coaching session, right? Like you want to really figure out like, what's your coaching request today? The way you show up in a sales call should be very similar to the way you show up for them in a coaching session. You want to already show up for them as their coach right from the very start. And that starts to build that trust and that intimacy right away. So then once they start telling me their specific questions, and obviously you can address each one of those individual. And then, so then you want to start to paint a vision for them and show them what's possible. Again, instead of like talking about all the different details of the program, like you can always send a link after you get off, because a lot of times people learn in different ways. And for me, I'm not very auditory. I need to see things first. So a lot of times, like I don't go over every single detail of the program, and I'll just say, hey, after we get off the call, if you want, I can send you a link to my website that has more information, or I can send you the flyer, and they usually like that. So that's a good thing to do. But it's really good to just like, truly figure out and this goes into one of the things too, is like really figure out what do they want to walk away with from your time together. You can say that. What is, if you could walk away with one thing, having one thing be different or change after we work together for the next couple months, what would that be? And then, they're like, well, I want to be, more confident in my relationships, and I want to be healthier, and I want to possibly figure out what I really want to be doing. And then, you always want to be really enthusiastic. Like, that's awesome. That's so great. And yes, absolutely, I can help support you around that with this work. And and then you just like build upon that vision with them, and just let them know like, yeah, can you imagine like how good it's going to feel to wake up in the morning and to be confident with like knowing it is exactly what you want to do, and knowing that that's going to be able to support your family and bring in income, and then having that easy relationship with your husband where you're both on the same page. Like just both of you want to like get excited together about what's possible for this person. So really focus on what they're going to walk away with. And then, so the next one is, be honest. Like most people are going to have fears, and they're going to have objections come up. If it's the first time they're hiring a coach, or if it's the first time they're really investing in themselves and their business. And again, objections are not bad by any means. Don't take them personal. Don't feel like, oh, I didn't do something well enough, right? And then usually it goes back, we take it like personal, and it's really not personal at the end of the day. So it's really good to just say like, hey, I want you to be honest with me. Like, I'm sure there must be some fears or some objections. Like, I would just love to hear, what are those at this time? What reservations do you have about us working together? And then, obviously let them talk, and they might say nothing. I'm ready to go. Sign me up. And okay, cool. I'll send you the contract if we get off the phone. And that does happen occasionally. I've had that happen a few times, and it's really cool. It's just like, oh, that was easy. But honestly, that doesn't happen most of the time. And so then, let's see. I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? We're talking about fears and objections and going through each of those. Sorry, I just CrossFitted before this, so my brain's a little jelly right now. Oh, okay. So then I'm going to tell you probably the number one thing that's going to come up is the money objection. And so then you're like, okay, great. Put them at choice at this point. Say, are you interested in doing a little coaching around that? Are you interested in digging a little bit deeper? And this is really your chance to show up as coach for them and to help them to get their first breakthrough. And if you can get them a breakthrough on the sales call, like probably almost guaranteed they're going to hire you at this point or sometime in the future. And every single person that I've been able to help reach a breakthrough on the sales call has helped me. And even Katie DePaula told us that as well, as people will pay you for breakthroughs. So, again, but you don't want to just go right into coaching because they might not also be ready for that either. I've made this mistake many times. And so again, ask for their permission, put them at choice. It helps them to feel more in control. Are you okay with doing some coaching around this? I hear that you have some money fears. What kind of return on investment do you want to get from our time together? Do you want to be able to pay off this program through client work? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, great. We can put a plan together right now to figure out how many clients you need to bring in that would pay off the cost of us working together, right? So like you want to already work on goals and co-create that together. That's really powerful. So then after you do some of your coaching around the objections and they're like, okay, I'm in, I want to do this. And then a lot of times I always like to ask people, what is your budget for coaching? And so they'll give me a number. And in the past, I would try to lower my prices because I'm like a recovering people pleaser. I still struggle with that. If anyone else here is a people pleaser, feel free to throw up some emojis or hearts right now. I know I'm not the only one. But so I realized that I have to have boundaries, right? I have worked so hard over the past couple of years to be where I'm at in my coaching skills, in my business, and the amount of money I've invested in my business. And I deserve to stay true to my rates. And so my current rate is $250 an hour, $250 a session. And so if someone says okay, I have, I would like to spend $500 a month. I'm like, okay, great. Then that means that we can meet 2 times a month and I'll do some spot coaching in between. And I would like to meet with you for a minimum of 4 months. I usually like to work with people anywhere from 3 to 6 months, but the 4-month mark for me is the sweet spot. And so then I kind of hear, what's your thoughts on that? And we just kind of we talk it out and we work it back and forth. And I just meet them where they're at, but at the same time, respecting my money boundaries. And it ends up working out really well. I know not all coaches do that. Some coaches are like, nope, this is my only package. This is my only way to work with me. And that's it. That's final. For me, that just doesn't feel good. At the end of the day, I really want to work with people and give them all kinds of different options to work with me one-on-one. And so then, lost my train of thought again. Hold on, let me catch up on the comments here. Jamie said, yes, no bro rates. Hope that was the only one to catch up on. Thank you. And so then once we come to a middle ground, we find something that feels good for me, it feels good for her. And just so you know, the sales call is just as much as it's an interview for you as well to decide if you want to work with the client. You don't always have to say yes. Maybe the client's saying yes to you, but you don't have to say yes to them because you want it to be, it's just like a relationship. You both want to be in it together. You both want to be excited to show up for each other. And if one's more into it than the other, that's going to cause problems later on. So, also make sure that this is for you as well and everything feels good for you. And then right after we get off the phone, I send the contract right away. I don't like to be lazy about that. I want to show them hey, I'm serious. This is professional and I'm ready to get started. I send them the scheduling link. They put their information, their credit card information in the contract, and I charge their credit card when they tell me it's okay to do that. And yeah, so that's kind of some tips. Let's see. Jamie, you said, I love being flexible, but not being taken advantage of. Yes, I agree with that. I think it's really good, yeah, to co-create, be flexible, but also, yeah, like know what your boundaries are. And you might not know that in the beginning, and that's okay. And you will find that out the more you start coaching, and then something doesn't feel good and you're like, oh, okay, that's where I need to put a boundary up. And it's just all part of the process. You just got to start and get started. And there was so many times in the beginning that I was just like, you know, finding people and just doing discovery call after discovery call. And I didn't even like want to work with them half the time, but I was like, I just want practice. I need practice, like having these sales conversations, because that is truly the only way to get better at the end of the day. And then when I was in Integral Circle coach training, my partner coach, Jen Hepton, I asked her one day for a session and I was like, hey, can we just like, can you just practice being the client and I will be the coach, and you're going to have every money objection possible in the world. And I want to figure out how to, oh, there's my sister. Hi. And it was so great because like I just got to practice over and over again in a, you know, a safe situation. And after that, I promoted my first Coaching Warrior program, and I felt like a rock star getting on all of those discovery calls because I had just practiced with Jen the day before. So I really recommend, if you have a buddy or a coach or a partner coach, to do a session with them and do some role playing as well. That's super helpful. Let's see. Jamie said, hi, I've done so much wild boundary work that money seems easy. What does that mean by wild boundary work? I'm really curious about that. But that's good that money seems easy. Angela, you said, how did you go about getting lots of discovery calls? I just reached out to like everyone. Like I was just, you know, going through on Facebook, and I was just messaging people that I really liked. And I was, you know, just saying like, hey, I'm starting a new coaching business. Would you want to do like a free couple sessions with me? I need some practice coaching right now. This is what I love to coach around. I love to help people with their goals. And really nobody turns down free coaching at the end of the day. And then I create a Facebook post and said, who wants free coaching? And then I had like 10 people say yes, to the point where I had to put people on a waiting list. So I have found that most people do not turn down free coaching, and you just have to ask, you know, you just ask. And don't worry about, I think we wait like, oh, it has to be my ideal client. Who cares in the beginning if it's your, and honestly, I didn't even know what my ideal client was when I first began. I was like, I just want to coach. And I think it's really interesting too, because, you know, I'm always encouraging new coaches, like put yourself out there, stop planning, start acting. And they're kind of like, no, you know, and I'm like, I couldn't wait to get started coaching. I loved coaching. I mean, I was scared and didn't know what I was doing the whole time, but I was like so excited to get started. And I actually really liked doing free coaching because I didn't even have to worry about the money conversations yet. And so I just think it's really interesting that a lot of new coaches, I don't want to say everyone should be like me because that's not true, but I just think it's interesting that a lot of people are really hesitant to start coaching because it's like, this is our zone of genius. This is what we love to do at the end of the day. We love to get on the phone with people and listen to them and help them, you know, work through situations and find their own solutions. Like that's what I want to be doing all day long, honestly. I don't want to be working on my website half the time. I don't want to be on social media all the time, even though I usually am. You know, I don't want to be like graphic design. I want to be coaching people. So, you know, just give yourself permission to practice, to have fun, to play. You know, work with anyone in the beginning, and then, you know, you can narrow down, you can niche down. You know, you can do all that later on, but in the beginning, you just need to go. You just need to practice as much as possible. So that's That's my advice there. Again, you go at your own pace and do what you're comfortable with, but for me, I just could not wait to get started. Jamie, you said hard boundaries with really close family and friends. Okay, so I guess that's what it means with wild boundaries. I'm interested to hear more about that sometime. We should catch up, Jamie. We haven't talked in a while. I want to hear how coach training's going. Yeah, so it's been about 25 minutes. Do you all feel good? Do you feel complete with this for right now? Let me know where you're at. I know we didn't like dive super into marketing. We touched a little bit on it, but I really like committed to preparing upcoming like worksheets and group coaching programs and everything that really empowers women around sales and marketing, because once you start doing it a lot, it starts becoming really fun, and it just feels really badass when you start making sales, and it just doesn't have to be scary or overwhelming. I promise. So I really feel like that if I can fall in love with it, probably the majority of people can, because I dreaded it in the beginning. I think most people do. And I was a nurse. I mean, you didn't have to worry about sales in nursing. So I was completely clueless at the beginning, but yes. Oh, cool. Okay, let's catch up, Jamie. All right, that's it. I hope that helps. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And just to let you know, if you're a new coach and you're watching this and you're interested in possibly going through a certification program, Inner Glow Circle should be on your radar. I'm going to be a student trainer for them in the fall, a full trainer for them in the spring. It's what I just got certified for. I'm going to let you know, I just took my exam yesterday. I passed 84%. You need a 70. I got an 84. So I'm officially a certified coach now. I'm an ACC, Associate Certified Coach, the International Coaching Federation. So I'm so excited. I've worked so hard to get this. And so if you want to be a certified coach, which I highly recommend any life coach do, you should check out Inner Glow Circle, innerglowcircle.com, or message me, and I will tell you and answer any single question you need to know about the program. But I'm absolutely obsessed with it, hence why I'm going to start working for the company. So their early enrollment ends July 15th, and then prices go up after that. So and the program starts in the beginning of October. All right. Thank you, Angela, and thank you, Jamie. Oh, Angela, I missed this comment. You said, I feel really good about it, and I'm glad I'll have a one-to-one call with you this month to dive in deeper. Yes, I'm so excited. You're in my current Coaching Warrior program, Angela, and I cannot wait. We can definitely talk more about this on our one-to-one. So, all right. Goodbye, ladies. Talk to you next week.